This is the video replication file for Lecture Prep 8 from the St. Louis University course, Introduction to Geographic Information Science. Today we're going to be calculating centroid coordinates for polygons. Centroids are the geographic center of a polygon. I like to imagine that if you could hold a single polygon feature up on your finger and balance it, that point where the polygon would balance perfectly perpendicular to your finger would be the centroid. And so we'll start by bringing some census geography data, census tracts, onto our map document. The data we need are in the Data Library folder under GIS Tutorial, and then Data, followed by Maricopa County. And we'll pull the 2010 tract geometry onto our map document, and then we'll go ahead and save this map document in our assignments repository. And what we need is a map document file named LP08 saved in the appropriate lecture prep directory. With our map document saved, we can go ahead and open the attribute table for our tract geometry and add our X and Y columns. So we'll go to the table options, go to add fields, name a column X, change the type to double, and do the same thing for the Y column. Again, we'll save it as double data. What we've just done in ArcGIS is analogous to using the mutate function in R, at least in terms of what you get. There's some key differences. For example, that process we just did in Arc is not reproducible, and we have to know ahead of time what type of data we want to be working with. It's not easy to change that column data type once we've created it, unlike in R, where it can be changed at will. With our columns created, we'll go ahead and start calculating the centroid points. So we can right-click on our column and choose Calculate Geometry. We'll click Yes when we get the warning about the edit session. And the default option is to calculate the x-coordinate of the centroid, which is what we want for the column X. So we'll click OK. When we're warned about the edit session again, we will click Yes and let those calculations take place. We'll repeat the process for the Y column. Right-click, go to Calculate Geometry, click Yes on the edit session warning, but under Property, we will use the drop-down menu to change our setting to Y-coordinate of the centroid. Then we'll click OK, click Yes when we are warned again about the edit session, and let our calculations once again take place. Once we are done, we can close the attribute window and then head over to our catalog so that we can create a new geodatabase to export our XY coordinate data to. So I'll shrink the GIS tutorial menu, open my assignments repository, and in the Lecture Prep 8 folder, I will right-click on the folder, go to New and File Geodatabase, and we'll create a geodatabase name for the assignment that we can save data in. To actually get our data into the geodatabase, we'll right-click on the layer, open up the Attributes table, and go to the Table Options menu again. From there, we'll click Export, and then we will select the Output table, the Browse button there, and find our new geodatabase. I'll choose the geodatabase, double-click on it to open it, and create a new feature class name for our data. I'll call it Tract Centroids and click Save. Then we'll click OK, and we'll export those records. Now we don't need to add them to our current map just yet, so we can click No. We can once again close the Attributes table, and then we'll find our Tract Centroids table that we exported, right-click on it, and click Create Feature Class from XY table. In the Create Feature Class table, we need to select a coordinate system for our input coordinates, and we'll go ahead and choose NAD 1983. Now I have mine saved in the Favorites menu, but if you don't, you can search for it. Look under Geographic Coordinate Systems, North America, and choose that first NAD 1983 option. We'll select it and click OK. Finally, we will identify the output location for our data. So we'll click the Browse button under Output, find our geodatabase, open that geodatabase, and change the name of our output from XY Track Centroids to Census Track Centroids. Click Save, and then go ahead and click OK. With our data created, we can go over to the catalog and drag it onto our map document. And there we have all of the centroids for each of the census tracts in Maricopa County. And what I want to do finally is close the catalog window and then grab our zoom tool and zoom in on the census tracts in the southeast part of the main urban area in Maricopa County. And you can now clearly see how those centroid calculations work. For the more evenly shaped tracts, it's clear that the centroid lies in the middle of the feature.